Good evening. Welcome to Live in Conversation. My name is René Antoine. I am a life insurance agent helping my clients to protect, save, and grow the money. And I am in conversation with the lovely attorney, Daphnée Camilien. Hello, Daphnée. How's it going?
Good, good. Hello. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday indeed. How's your week so far?
Good. We're halfway through, you know. So
We have
that's
you too.
we're halfway through.
Awesome. So, hello everyone. Come on in, join in this conversation. As tonight, we will be talking all things immigration news, specifically what's going on right now with deportation under the Biden administration, as well as a touchy subject that I want us to have a conversation about. I want to know. So, join this conversation. I need your opinion. I want to know, is deportation after incarceration double punishment? Is that double punishment? Is that double jeopardy? So go in, share this live, bring your input because I want to know what other people are thinking about this. How are you, Daphnée Camilien?
Good, good, good. I'm very interested to see what people's opinions are gonna be.
Me too. I'm interested. And so kindly share our disclosure before we start this conversation.
Sure. Our conversation is for information purposes only. As stated, Renee is in the financial services industry. I am an attorney. This is only for information purposes only. Our discussion, my discussion does not create attorney-client privilege. Does not, this is just like I said for discussion purposes only. So that's our disclaimer ahead of time.
Awesome. So we're going to start with deportation under the Biden administration. So what's going on right now with deportation?
Whew. Oh my goodness. So, um, Biden, how long has he been in power? So we got January 20th, right? So it's been what, 21 days, something like that. So basically, so 3 weeks. So basically, right now what's going on is during his first, he has vowed, and he did it during his first 100 days. He said he was going to put a moratorium, pretty much stop deportations, to trying to figure out what's going on, just to kind of get, I'm sure he's just trying to figure out what's going on with everything. However, or I should say this, he said he's going to stop deportations except for, serious, dangerous criminals, that type of situation. He would still allow those deportations. So there's been some controversy because ICE was still deporting people, and that the court said, what was it? There was a Texas judge that kind of stopped what Biden said, put a hold on what Biden said as far as the deportation during the first 100 days, stopping it. And but he told what his ruling was saying that you can still deport people, but it has to be for dangerous situations. So that's the understanding of people. However, that was last week. However, on Friday they were still deporting people. A lot of activists, like just regular people, a lot of activists and people were up in arms, and they stopped deportation, especially flights to, for whatever reason, why this is a target, I don't know, but the flights to Haiti were stopped on Friday, right? So they were deporting people, like last week, stopped flights to Haiti despite Biden's moratorium. Flights to Haiti were stopped on Friday. However, they resumed on Monday, and they deported. There was two flights, I believe, on Monday. One flight had 72 people. Of the 72 people, 22 or 23 were children. The youngest child was a 2-month-old that was deported. So, when you're reading about this, and getting more information, it appears that the Biden is saying that they're going to stop deportations for they'll stop deportations, but not for new immigrants that are coming, or migrants that are coming over. So if they're coming to the border, and they're new, they are deporting those people. and they're deporting them under something called Title 42 that has to do with the health and like preserving the health because of obviously for COVID-19. They're using that as an excuse why they don't why they're instantly deporting these people, which is tragic. Renee, what are your thoughts about that?
So my thoughts in regard to the current deportation, I mean, if there's a moratorium, you said, in regards to
Moratorium.
President Biden basically saying like let's suspend or put a pause on deporting people, I believe that he is the president and therefore they should abide by that presidential order. So you mentioned how 23 children were on that plane, correct?
Right.
And then so exactly what are these people who are just here already living here? Do we know the details, or are there people that were caught in the border? And then so like, do we have any, I guess, more information into the people who were deported?
So what I found was that they went to the border. So they were new people that were coming to the border. And mind you, even though Biden made that a pause, a federal judge did an unpause.
Okay.
Right? So deportations are still, but the federal judge said, okay, I'm unpausing this, so you can still deport people, but we're looking at you only to deport dangerous people, criminals, people who have been convicted, etc. You can deport those people. And but Biden said, so Biden administration came out and said, hey, we said we weren't going to deport people because we're going to figure things out, but we also said the just coming, that's the exception. Like if you just come to the border, they're deporting those people, and they're saying because of health and safety. COVID-19.
I mean, this is a touchy subject. Okay, so
no,
immigration is a touchy subject. So with that being said, President Biden said, okay, let's put a pause on deportation in regards to people who, like all immigrant or just people who are already living in the US.
I believe it's the people who are already here that are in deportation proceedings, that are not convicted felons, dangerous criminals, etc.
So which means that people who are recently coming in through the border and who are, I guess, held up at the border, then therefore do not qualify under that moratorium.
Right.
And it's yes. Okay, so with that being said, I'm trying to understand it. So with that being said, and then with the judge, there is check and balance in the government. That's why we have the executive, legislative, and judicial. So which means like the same time when again when President Trump was having all those different type of orders that he had,
right?
So then it took judges who will go and say, well, no, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. So technically, even though the Biden administration, I guess, would like to have a type of law, but at the same time, it does require check and balances, which the federal judge, I guess, took action upon. You muted.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's checks and balances. So this is apparently this judge is under is Trump appointed, if that means anything, because they're supposed to be by him. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
No, it's okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Live in Conversation. Thank you for joining me. Let me put me in solo. So this is an amazing conversation we're having this evening with attorney Daphnée Camilien as we are discussing immigration news, specifically with what's going on in the Biden administration. Let me see. Yes, okay, she is back. So I'm in conversation with attorney Daphnée Camilien as we discuss current immigration news. If you have any question in regard to immigration, feel free to type those questions, share this conversation. If you think there's anybody that you know of who will find value from this conversation, who may need a little clarification in regards to what's going on now in respect to immigration. And so, with that being said, we just started talking about, I would say, current mass deportation under President Biden administration, and that is due to, I guess, ICE not complying with the moratorium that he had placed upon his presidency. So, what question do you all have for Daphnée Camilien? And Daphnée, what else would you like to add to this conversation?
Oh, on the border of Trump leaving and also Biden coming in, there was a guy, I'm looking for his name, Paul Peerless, who got, so I'm interested to see what your opinion would be about this. So it's his name, first name is Paul, last name is Peerless. So he was born in St. Martin. Okay, so all this happened, I'll give you the backstory. All this happened within a month ago, a couple weeks ago. He's born in St. Martin, and when he's 5 years old, he comes to the U.S. His parents are Haitian, right? They were born in Haiti, say that. His parents are now U.S. citizens. He is not a citizen, that's why this is an issue. He's a green card holder. His sister is a citizen. So in 2003, he got I believe it was a drug conviction, okay, which caused obviously some issues. And I believe they were trying to order him to be deported. The Haitian government, so he was born in St. Martin. He has a St. Martin birth certificate. St. Martin's French territory. So France refused to take him because they said he's not a French citizen. Haiti refused to take him because Haiti said he's not a Haitian citizen, right? Stateless. So under Trump administration, they were trying to deport him. When someone is stateless, you can't deport them because before you deport someone, that government has to accept that person, saying, yes, this is my citizen, blah, blah, blah. So he should be here. The fact that so anyway, long story short is under under Trump's administration, they were trying to deport him multiple times. He was taken off of a plane that was set for deportation. Last week, they tried to deport him, and finally, they were able to deport him on February 3rd. So they were saying that ICE is rogue because they've been able to do certain things. And how is it that so they deported him to Haiti. He's never been to Haiti his whole life. He's 40 years old. So it's a very interesting case. So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so if he's deported to Haiti, I mean, like, he shouldn't, like you said, like, Haiti had to accept him. And then so what happened, like, once that plane arrived to Haiti?
So the ambassador, hold on. First I would say the Haitian ambassador, I don't know if it was the U.S. Haitian ambassador. There was one of these ambassadors that said he is not. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm assuming
yes,
there's going to be lots of, there will be some type of suit as far as trying to appeal this, whatever, because they went on record saying he is not a Haitian citizen. So you're right. Why did the Haitian authorities accept him
exactly
when he landed on Haitian soil?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then also, obviously, I don't know St. Martin's laws, but then so if, and again, that's knowing St. Martin laws, because if someone is born at St. Martin, does that automatically make them a French citizen?
Right.
So that's a concern as well.
Right. And I don't know if there were certain things that they had to do in order for him to be a French citizen, because every country obviously is different.
Yes. Yes.
One of the things about the U.S. that makes the U.S. so popular is you're born here, you're a citizen.
Born here, that's it.
Right. That's not how.
Let's make your first cry here.
Right. that's not always. That's not the same in other countries. So
exactly.
You're right. Does that make him a French citizen? But France wouldn't take him. So whatever steps that were needed to be taken, obviously were. And remember, he came here when he was 5, so young. So maybe the parents didn't have a chance or whatever reason. So he's stateless. What is he doing in Haiti?
Okay, so and again, that's a question for the Haitian government.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if somebody lands, it could have been, I mean, it could have been just anybody, not even be deported from a country. Anybody who comes to a country, you should be asked who you are, where you're coming from, and what the purpose of you being in the country.
Right.
Okay. And then so if Haiti had stated that okay, he is not a Haitian citizen, then therefore they should not have let him even exit the plane.
Right. I
So
agree with you.
just send it back. So so with that being said, definitely I would love to for us to have maybe do a follow-up in exactly what happened. I mean in all honesty, I really doubt.
You what?
I have great doubt that something substantial is gonna come out.
It might.
Because what if he just end up there and if everybody forgot about him?
No. The advocates that I see that are behind his case, I see. So I don't think so. I think it may take some time, right? The law is clear about is statelessness, right? And so it may take some time, as far as getting him back. But there are some advocates, some fierce, like he has some big names behind him. So I do see this not going away. I can see him. I am going to follow it. I would love to see if he comes back within the year. But I mean, you've never been there, right?
Yes,
so,
yes.
You've never been there. So how is it? It'd be different if you were born there, but you've never been there. Your birth certificate's not from there,
Yes.
so come on. So yeah.
Hello to everyone. I hope I'm not butchering your name. I think it's Kilia. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll just go by your last name, King Charles. Okay. She's with us. Thank you for joining this conversation. She said it's possible they got paid to accept him.
There may
All
be
possibilities.
right.
All possibilities.
There might have been some pressure. And
yes, exactly. So at the end of the day, it's the Haitian government that has to, stand up and say, well, this isn't my citizen, and therefore I do not accept him. It's clear as, I guess, night and day.
Right.
All right, everyone. God is Shakilia. Yeah, she said her name for me. Yes. Thank you for joining us. Share this live. Anybody you think would have find this conversation valuable, feel free to share it, because we want to share like all things immigration knows. Obviously, a lot of people often have questions about immigration. I'm sure there's a lot of immigration in Chicago now, and plus, this is all throughout the US. And so they get the opportunity to have an attorney answer the questions for them. And then so it is in that spirit that we are here every Wednesday to bring knowledge, resources, information just to help us so we can know how to navigate our wonderful USA. All right, anything else you want to add, that Attorney Daphnée Camilien?
No.
All right, so we're gonna go to the next portion of our conversation. Before we do, I do wanna have a quick pause. As I mentioned, our sponsors for the show, obviously this take time and it take resources. So before we go to the next part, I'm just gonna do a quick sponsor break. All right. Hello, everyone. Well, this show is being brought to you by René Antoine Consulting. Obviously, the attorney Daphnée Camilien is here, so Camilien Law as well. So as a financial services entrepreneur, I help my clients protect, save, and grow the money, whether that is if you want life insurance for yourself, for your family, or even for your business. Feel free to reach out to me at 312-912-1845. That's 312-912-1845, and we can have a conversation about how I can help you protect yourself as well as your loved ones. And the second sponsor by this show is AJP Unlimited. AJP is an unlimited store that you can access for all your purchases, whether that be clothing, shoes. Valentine's Day is coming up. And then, so if you are interested in shopping AJP Unlimited, you can go to the Facebook page. I'm going to go to it right now to show it to you. Let me show it real quick. You can go to the Facebook page, and today's feature product is this lovely purse over here. I mean, if you have maybe even a child or your wife, you want to give them this nice, lovely bag. The show is sponsored by AJP Unlimited. We have shoes. Give me a second. I wanted to share the screen with you all. Content. Yep, so it's right here. Support however you can. You can go ahead and like the page, or you can, share it. Or if there's something that you are interested in, you can go ahead and purchase it. That's it for today. You can reach out to me or reach out to AJP Unlimited for all your shopping needs. And I am back with attorney Daphnée Camilien as we discuss all things immigration news. I do have one comment. Somebody says, I thought you from France. No, I am from Haiti. Haiti. Yes, that's where I'm from. But thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. So the next segment, please, I need all of you to comment. I want to have your feedback. Okay, I want to know if you will support me in this. I need to know. Yes. Show me some love.
Or support me.
Support me, y'all. Support me. Show me some love. Let me know, what do you think about deportation after incarceration? And let me explain what I mean by that. So let's say someone commit a crime, and we're not going to discuss the crime right now. We'll take that for later. A crime that, according to the, to the law of the land, is a crime. And therefore, this person has then been convicted and sentenced, okay? And they have then, completed the sentence. But now, once they completed the sentence, they are then deported. Do you all think this is double punishment, double jeopardy? Let me know your thought. Attorney Daphnée Camilien, it's on you now. Let me know. And plus, before you even let me know your thought, go ahead and obviously explain it to the audience and the attorney. Mind frame.
So I say no, it's not double punishment for a couple of reasons, right? So when you commit a crime in the United States, depending if the crime is a federal crime, so it's against the federal government, or a state crime, when you're brought up against charges, it's usually, if you've ever seen a lawsuit, it's always, or even watched Law and Order or whatever, you'll see it'll say State v. Jones, right? Meaning like it's the people of let's say it's the people of Virginia versus Tom Jones, or if it's the federal government's United States, versus Tom Jones. So that means, so what they're trying to do is get justice for the state, right? Because of whatever crime you committed, or get justice for the federal government. So the idea is once you've served your time, you've paid your debts back to society, right? So then we got another thing though. We got the immigration laws, which is a little bit different because immigration laws have their own set of rules. And if you are convicted of a crime, more than likely you're in violation of immigration laws. So immediately once you're done with parole, if it's a felony, right? A felony is a crime that's committed that you have the potential to go to prison for 1 year or more. Misdemeanor is under a year, okay? So once you're, done with your time, then the federal government says, you know what? We heard that you were in prison for the past 2 years, and we heard that you got out. So now you're going to have to deal with us. And so they will issue a deportation proceeding, and a deportation order. You have to go to immigration court, right? They may take you into custody, and then you have to deal with it there, and then you're deported. So you are dealt with twice. the idea is, I believe the idea is that for you, in order for a person to get a green card and to get their, usually this is more with green cards, it is because it is a privilege. And if you commit a crime and are convicted of that crime, they're saying you are violating their rules and you are no longer afforded this privilege, and therefore we're going to send you back to your country. So I do think, and so, but I will say this, there's always exceptions to the rules, right? And I do believe that these type of cases should be looked upon by a case-by-case basis, because some of the convictions and some of the things people are convicted of that can get you deported, I believe most people would be shocked at the things that can get you deported. A DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol, can get you deported. Being convicted of marijuana can get you deported. And some people may be like, but my state, it's legal. Not in immigration circumstances. You can be deported. So, things like that should be looked upon case by case.
Okay, so again, y'all, bring me your thought, comment, let me know. Let me know if you team Renee or if you team Camilien. Okay. So you mentioned that it's a privilege. Okay.
Right.
Honestly, I don't want to say for sure. I've heard deportation happen for citizens. I don't want to say naturalized citizen.
Usually for fraud.
Usually for fraud.
Like if you, it's not like, so if you're a citizen, and if Susie is a citizen, she got her papers through whatever way, parents got her papers, she becomes a citizen. Susie does murder, right? But she's a citizen, so we deal with her, you're still here. But if you have a green card, that's different. Now, if you become a citizen and you became a citizen through fraudulent means, yeah, they can take your citizenship away from you.
Yeah, again, I cannot say completely for sure if I've heard a naturalized citizen being deported, not because of fraud, as you mentioned, but due to after being incarcerated. I have to look that up at a future time. But with that being said, so someone is a permanent resident, okay, and then they commit a crime, they serve the time, and then yet they are deported. You mentioned that it is a privilege to be in the country, right? And so, which means if that
go ahead,
if that privilege is being
have a green card.
A privilege, yes, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. A privilege to have a green card to be in the country, and so if that privilege is being taken away, then it is a form of punishment. Because if we say it's a privilege, and then now you're no longer a privilege, it's punishment. Yes or no?
What do you mean, like to be deported?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So therefore, it's double punishment because now, first of all, we're not even gonna talk about the expense of incarcerating someone that you know full well that you're gonna deport later. Okay? And then second of all, we have to look into the family dynamic. And then so now you have maybe, and I actually read an article, and then so I guess I forgot I should have kept that article. So prior to 1996, there was a law that passed, and then before it was like a case by case. But once that happened, once that law passed in 1996, it's like automatic. You commit a crime, you're incarcerated, and then you get deported. So now you have a family dealing with a loved one being incarcerated. And then so definitely there's expenses to that if the person is the main breadwinner. Is that how you say it?
Right.
Or the provider. Okay. Right. So now this person is incarcerated. And then now you are supporting an incarcerated person because obviously it costs the family money to be communicating, sending money. You are doing all of this. Okay. And then so hopefully this person will be able to come back to you to be able to help you to continue to support you. But then once that person has served their time, they are then deported. So you're still in a situation where you're going to have to continue to support that person because now they're in a country that, I mean, depend on the situation, they may not be able to provide for themselves. So the family is forever punished. And then so, especially if they have young children, and then so if they can never come back to the country, that means that, then it's like you can never see your parent unless you go travel and meet them. So we have to look into that family dynamic, because people who commit a crime who are US citizen, once they complete their time, they go back to their loved ones. They continue on with their life. I would think that it should be the same.
I think I think that well, I think that they, because it's looked at as two separate things, right? In order to get, so when immigration is looking at people, they're looking at there's a type of person that they want to give immigration privileges to, right? So like if you've been in prison in your country, right, and then you come here and you ask for a green card, they'll reject you because they don't want that type of person, right? And then if you are allowed to come here, you probably have to go through so many hoops and whatever. So they're looking at it as if we're giving you this green card, we're saying that you've met these characteristics that we're looking for. If you commit a crime, you've no longer met these characteristics, right? So they're looking at it separately. The state is saying you're a person, and the state's not looking if you're a citizen, not a citizen, green card holder, whatever. They're like, you're a person, you committed this crime in our state, you have to do your time. And then immigration looks at you differently. You got this privilege, as I say it like that we gave you this green card, but you cannot commit crimes, you cannot do whatever. You violated the rules. Now you got to go back. But there is something called cancellation of removal. And under certain circumstances, you can be ordered removed, deported by a judge, and you can ask for a cancellation of removal where they can stop it. But they're looking, like I said, they're looking at the type of person you are. So if you're going to say, oh, I got 5 kids, they're all under the age of, whatever, they're under the age of, 15, and you never supported your kids, you didn't take care of your kids, whatever, you can't have people vouch, the actual mother of the children vouch to your, support. You were working before, and it seems like you have to have people vouch for you. You have to have a lot. And if you can't have that, if you don't have that, they're looking for these compelling reasons why you should be allowed to stay.
Okay, so when we look at the Constitution, is the double jeopardy under constitutional laws?
Double jeopardy for convictions, yes. Right,
Okay.
criminal convictions. Yep.
Okay, so if it's constitutional laws, then therefore it applies to everyone under the law. And then so if the question is you commit a crime of against the state, okay, and then versus federal, then there should be an agreement between the state and the federal as to how we I guess I don't want to say deal, but as to how we review, okay, cases based on immigration status. Because at the end of the day, we cannot just say, well, it's immigration law, state laws, federal laws. So because at the end of the day, double jeopardy is against the Constitution. I'm sorry.
So yes, you're right as far as being convicted for the same crime. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Twice for the same exact crime. The problem is deportation is not, so being in prison is like losing your the ability, your liberties, right? You're not able to go and come as you please, etc. Okay. So being deported for everybody is not the same, so being deported means that you're going to another country and you're free. You're not being put in a prison where they're monitoring your every move. And even if some countries may do that temporarily, not all countries do that. And there's no crime. So that's and I don't say for us, we're looking at it like being deported is such a bad thing. And it is not, it's not ideal, right? But at the same time, they're still free. It uproots their life, but they're still free. That's different than being in prison. So I wouldn't, they wouldn't look at it as as double jeopardy, as because you don't face the same. You haven't lost your liberty. You can go as you please. It just is not in this country.
I still think that there should be some type of, and again, because if a crime is committed here and then you asking the different country to go to, I guess, incarcerate that person, again, they did not commit any crime against that country.
Right.
And plus there's an expense to incarcerating, anybody. And then, so that's an expense I'm sure that they wouldn't have to, they wouldn't want to pay that expense. And then, so if that's the case, then how about, nah, that's gonna be too much. So no, that's asking too much. Okay, no, for real though. But does embassies, nah, no, it doesn't make any sense.
Housing them in the embassy?
No, I'm trying to process this. Okay. I'm really trying to process it because I honestly feel like it's double jeopardy, especially for the family. I mean, it's a lot.
What if they don't have family? What if they don't have family?
Everybody has family.
I mean, not like that though. Like you know, people might not be close to their family. What if they have like a mom or an aunt and they're not even close to their family? They're related to them, but it's not like that type of relationship.
Help me out, y'all. I see you guys here. 7 of you, I can see you. Help me out. What do you all think about deportation after incarceration? Is someone deported? If someone is deported after they serve their time, is that considered punishment? Should someone be deported after they serve their time? Because Attorney Daphnée Camilien is giving me all the legal aspects, but I'm here giving all the emotional aspects. Now it's 14 of y'all.
let me ask you this. If this is an extreme, and then I want to talk to you about Slick Rick, okay? But let me ask you this. If the person, this is real extreme. If you had a person who did something really horrible, like, I don't know, killed a bunch of children, right? Let's say 50 kids, right? That person wouldn't go. Let's slow it down because we have to make a situation where the person would actually be able to get out. So let's say they killed like a family. They served, when they were young, 25. They served like
30 years. They give a lot of years for that.
Right. But they were like really not repentful, just like we're just really hateful people. They were from whatever country, they get out, right? And they move next door. How would you feel? Like, would you be okay with a person like that being able to stay in the country? By this time, they may have lost ties with their family. And let's say the parents of that person died by this time. They didn't have kids. They don't talk to their, like brothers and sisters, which is actually more common than you would think, right? After that much time. So with that person, there is no family link. So what do you think about it? So that person should be allowed to stay just because they've served their time in the U.S., but they should be allowed to stay.
Let's reverse it. Let's say they're a U.S. citizen. What do we send them?
They already have they were born with the privilege, or they were granted it through yes.
But if the concern is that this person committed this horrible crime, okay, right, and then therefore we do not want them back into society, okay, so now we have the immigration aspect. We say, well, if there's an immigration aspect, then you get deported. But let's say this person was born and raised in America, and therefore there's nowhere to deport them. They end up back being in society.
Right. You're right. No, I'm not. So, okay, let me say this. It is punishment, but I don't see this. It's not double jeopardy as the legal term is, right? For being convicted twice. It is a punishment. It's a punishment by the state or federal government, and then it's turned around into punishment by immigration services. It is
Okay, so
punishment.
we are in agreement that it is punishment, but not double jeopardy. So
Right.
therefore, both state, both state and immigration. But then that's the thing, though. Should both of them punish the individual, because
Yeah.
it's double punishment. So how would you, I guess, differentiate double jeopardy from double punishment?
Because so double jeopardy is tricky
Mm-hmm.
too, though. So
Mm-hmm.
double jeopardy, you can be tried in state and federal court for the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can't be so you can't be tried in um if somebody steals the cash register at McDonald's, right? In the state of Illinois, because we're here, and they charge them with robbery. Okay, so it's like they serve their 10 years, they get out, and they charge them again for the same crime. You can't do that, right? In the state of Illinois for the same incident that occurred, today, February 10th, 2021. Same exact facts, same situation, everything. You can't charge them twice again, right? Even if something else is a little bit different, you can't charge them for the same crime twice. But if there was a federal aspect to it, you could be tried. And let's say you got off. Let's say you were found not guilty, right? In the state case for McDonald's, but for whatever reason there was some headquarters, McDonald's headquarter thing, and it was a federal case, and they wanted
And
to
maybe
charge.
they wired the money. Like once you wire money, that's a federal crime.
Right. So you can be charged federally for robbery, even though the state part is done. So it's kind of tricky. It's more like double jeopardy for the same state, right? Issue. So the immigration is federal, right? It is federal, but immigration is its own. It's kind of what I want to say is immigration is its own separate body, right? That's why you can be one of the things is you can be convicted for marijuana charge, right? And then you go to and so you can be charged, you can get probation, never do any time, right? And you're like, it's no big deal. You went about your business. However, immigration finds out 5 years later when you're trying to go ahead and get your citizenship. And they're like, wait a minute, we're thinking about deporting you. And you're like, I didn't even do prison time. I got probation. I just did some community service, no big deal. But for immigration purposes, they look at it differently. They look at it as a crime against what they call moral turpitude. So they're saying you're not immoral because you were convicted. Because even if you don't serve time, but you do like a little plea or something, you still consider it a conviction in immigration. So immigration is like immigration court and the whole immigration thing. It's its own entity, separate from even like the criminal courts. So you can get in trouble on one, but you still have to deal with this other one.
Yeah,
So
I read somewhere where they say it's like it's like you trial it's like traffic court. You really don't get much say. So
yeah.
Shakiria decided to give me some
Oh,
support. Thank you, Shakiria. Thank you. She said, I think it's double punishment because in most cases they don't give the individual time to prove themselves to society.
well, yeah, but I think it's also what is considered proof to society. The circumstance, the things they're looking for. Sometimes people just don't do it. Are you working a steady job? Are you, the stuff that you're gonna be like, oh, he volunteers at the church, and or she teaches, kids at an orphanage, or what I'm saying, the stuff that's so stellar when people are just trying to make it. that can probably help you is not always there. So it is hard. I'm not gonna say it's not. If you don't, sometimes it costs a lot of money to do these cancellation removals, money that people don't have because they're just trying to make it. You need support. You know, even with these deportations, we were talking about that guy before, Paul. If you don't have support, you know, if you do not have support, if you don't have people screaming about what happened to you, people that know, you know, to go to the local congressperson, people get deported by accident all the time, and people get deported without, you know, unfortunately, sometimes, you know, getting their due process. It's not right, but it probably happens more often than people even realize. Once you get in the system, it's difficult.
All right, y'all. This has been Live in Conversation with René Antoine and attorney Daphnée Camilien. We are here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time, talking about all things that matters to you, whether that be immigration laws, financial literacy, community laws. If it matters to you, it matters to us. So if you ever want us to discuss any subject or topic, feel free to reach out to either myself or attorney Daphnée Camilien. Leave a comment. You leave a comment, and then we'll definitely see if that's something that we can address. If you yourself or anybody you know might be in need of an immigration attorney, feel free to contact attorney Daphnée Camilien so she can help you navigate. She can help you navigate the immigration laws with ease. And then, so therefore, let me make sure that I share her information. Yeah, so you can reach out to attorney Daphnée Camilien at 847-410-9022. 847-410-9022. Throughout this month, we've been reminding you all that DACA is back. And so if you or somebody that you know need to apply for DACA, do your best. If you can do it by yourself, by all means, go ahead and do it by yourself. If you can find a non-for-profit who can help you, do that. But if you cannot find either a non-for-profit or you don't feel comfortable doing yourself, you can reach out to attorney Daphnée Camilien at 847-410-9022. As I mentioned earlier, I am in the financial services industry. So if you yourself or your family need either life insurance or to start planning for the retirement, you can always reach out to me at 312-547-1990. So attorney Daphnée Camilien mentioned okay, so you said federal, what you saying that federal crime is bankruptcy fraud,
Oh
bankruptcy?
no, yeah, I was gonna say I wanted to talk to you. I was gonna say Slick Rick, but I actually want to talk to you more about Joe Judice from.
Oh yes, oh go ahead, Leah. I'm sorry, mention, go ahead.
Okay,
I
that
thought
was.
it was 9 o'clock, so I was giving the
Oh
whole
yeah, no,
spiel.
it'll be the last one because I want to get your opinion on this. So,
Okay.
for those of you who watch Real Housewives of New Jersey, there was the guy Joe Judice that got in trouble. He was and he was deported. He's from Italy. So his story is he came here when he was 1 year old. Okay, and I'm assuming on a green card. However, he eventually got a green card. So in 2014, he was convicted of bankruptcy fraud and conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud. So he does his time, right, which was a couple years. I don't remember how many years, but it was at least 5 or 6 years. And when he was done, he was ordered deported. So he filed an appeal. Mind you, he has 4 daughters. He was on the show. He has 4 daughters, all citizens born here. And he filed appeal. He lost. He filed a second appeal. And while he was waiting for his second appeal, he decided to go to Italy and wait for the outcome. And he lost the second appeal. And then he filed a third appeal of his deportation. And he also lost. So he's deported. So I just wanted to get your opinion. He's been here since he's 1, and he's in his late 40s. He has 4 daughters, ranging, I think the age is 10 to like 18 years old.
Okay, so again, double jeopardy. Double jeopardy. Because you said what was the crime again?
I said he's been here since he's 1.
No. You said what
Oh,
did
the
he do
crime?
though? Uh-huh.
Oh, bankruptcy fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and mail fraud.
And mail fraud. Yeah, I mean it is so easy to get caught up.
It's like
I'm not
mortgage fraud. Mortgage fraud is what he said.
mortgage fraud. Okay. So with that being said, I mean he did his time. He's been here since he was 1. And as a matter of fact, this I mean, this is to tell you all, if you've been living here 30 years, why not be a US citizen? Okay? So go ahead and contact Attorney Daphnée Camilien if you the man has he's been here since he was 1. And so this privilege is being taken away from him, okay, because he's not a US citizen. Because any US citizen who commit this crime, they will serve their time and then that's it.
Right.
I'm not saying just go do crime and be free. I am saying, okay, it's either or. But I understand your point though, because depend on I guess the social economic of the person, the social economic status of the person once they deported, and it's like, they're living the life. So maybe there should be some type of agreement, arrangement, some type of communication between the country being deported and the US. Okay, because at the same time though, like honestly, so because if we incarcerate someone here, there is a cost to that.
Yes, sir. You're right.
Okay, so there is a cost to incarcerating someone here, and it could be way cheaper if you just deport them and you incarcerate them at the home country. Again, different laws, because now we're gonna talk about, again, yeah, you the attorney, because if they did not commit the crime at the home country, then why are they being incarcerated at the home country? I don't know. I see somebody shocked. Please let me know what you're shocked about. I do want to get your feedback. Timothy. Hey, Timothy, how's it going? Thanks for joining. I would love to know your opinion. If someone commit a crime, should they be deported after they serve their time?
What if the person? Oh, go ahead, finish it.
Yeah. Or should that be, because I agree. You said I agree that I guess the punishment for a crime, and then again, it's the loss of liberty. Okay, so therefore there should be some form of punishment. Okay, and then this is gonna be a whole conversation if we had. So we're not even gonna go there yet. But then, I have a comment. Yeah, he said, hey. Yes. I'd even lost my train of thought.
I was gonna say, what if? So we would trust we would trust another government to actually ensure that the person is in prison, and that's saying if the third government even agrees, because
exactly.
No, I'm saying even agrees to our. When I say agrees, if the person committed burglary here and they're supposed to get 5 years, and the government of wherever, right, country X is like, burglary is no big deal. 5 years, you'll be here for 5 days. I'm gonna let you out.
I see your point, but there should be an agreement. Okay, there should be a legit
agreement.
Because my point was initially, before I lost my train of thought, is the resources that we're spending here,
right?
Then figure out how you can use less of that resource to incarcerate them in the home country, giving that there is some type of agreement. Okay, because at the end of the day, you cannot just go to people's countries and build jails and prison. Even though at the same time, like I think the US, they build prison and jail in other countries already, I think. That's something. If I remember, there's like this new development, this new construction, a prison that's being built in Haiti. I'm gonna have to look into that. But then, yes, uh,
That might be to help the Haitian government, not necessarily to help the U.S.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
U.S. government.
You're right.
And that Timothy is right. Go Timothy. Yes, he's right. It's going to their
We
home.
want to. You might guess. Remember, like we friends.
Timothy is actually right because we're
It's perspective. It's going to the home country a punishment. It's perspective. Okay.
For a lot of
I mean,
people,
some places it's punishment because at the end of the day, the reason that they left the home country, not everybody,
not everybody. Especially if you came here as a kid, you won't like that guy Joe Judice. Didn't remember when he came here. He was brought here.
But then with Timothy, I don't think I think it's a question though. He is questioning this. He said, "Is going to the home country a punishment?"
And I agree with him.
I'm trying to agree with my guess, though.
Living in a particular country, is it a right or a privilege to live in a country besides your own? That's what we've been talking about.
Yeah, in a particular country, it is a right or a privilege? It's a question. He's questioning.
And these are the questions I agree with, and I'll answer for you, Timothy. It's a privilege. At least that's the way I believe that the government is viewing it. It's a privilege.
Okay. And again, I'm not saying it's not a privilege. What I am saying, though, don't have somebody be incarcerated in this country for 10, 20, 30 years. Okay? So they serve their time. Listen to this, Timothy. They serve their time, let's say 10, 20, 30 years. They're in jail, and then they come out finally thinking that they'll be able to be with their family, to start a new life, to get back into society. And now you tell them, oh, Timothy is really against me. And then now you tell them, you cannot stay here.
Right.
So then why not just, again, we're just going back in circle, because now I'm going to say, why not just, deport them in the first place? But then again, we already talk about how then therefore there's not going to be any punishment. But then we can always talk about
we can't guarantee the punishment. That's
we
what
can guarantee the punishment. But then also we can always talk about what is punishment is supposed to be. We can go really into this. Fadia is here. Yes. Okay. Oh, Fadia is against me. Okay. I'm gonna end this show right now.
Oh, you should read her statement. Living in
so Timothy says
he's right.
To live in another country is not all right. Okay. Right. And then Fadia says, yes, they should be deported. It is a privilege, and when you come into the country, it clearly stating that if you commit a crime, you will be deported. Okay, so just clarify to me: should they be deported after they serve the time, or should they just be deported from the get-go? I would love to know your thought on that.
I'll answer for Fadia.
How can you answer for Fadia? Fadia, you can answer for yourself.
You have to pay for the crime. Right.
You have to pay for the crime. Yes, I would love to know, what is your definition of paying for the crime? Serve the time and get deported, or just get deported and I would just add maybe having some type of agreement within the deported country. Okay. So and then too much.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Is no longer entitled to live in the country where they commit a crime. I agree with you, Timothy. The only thing is, it's the government. I agree with you. Look at Timothy. Hey, Tim.
Okay, Tim.
But I do. The only thing is, I will add this.
Okay.
I do think there needs to be an opportunity for it to be looked upon as, like you said, case by case. And it is case by case, because you still have to go through the immigration court system.
But it's non-existent. It's like a 99.9% based on what I recently read. There's this 0.01.
I think most people just don't have the advocacy, right? I mean, I can't stress that enough about having help with it, whether it's an organization, an attorney, a not-for-profit that knows your case. And I mean, I could see how it could be hard, because if you've been in prison for 5 years and you go into deportation proceedings, you're going from one court to the other. So how do you link up with the ACLU? How do you link up with these not-for-profit organizations that will take your case? You know, it's not easy. So I could see why, and their families just may not have the knowledge.
Or the funds,
or the no,
because they've already been supporting this person. You know, maybe
Right.
maybe this person was a main breadwinner, and then they lost their house, all of that. So I think next week we should talk about basically the criminal justice system, not even for not on the immigration side, but on people who've had committed crime and they have served their time, and then now the U.S. citizen, and then they still cannot function in society due to all the red tape when it comes to convicted, I guess, people.
Right.
Okay, and then so that's a double jeopardy as well, even though technically you're not being. Yep, I see you, Daphnée. But come for me.
So for me, okay.
When I say double jeopardy, I should not say double jeopardy. I was saying that it's double punishment.
That's a legal term of art.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yes. I'm not gonna say double jeopardy.
A double
punishment.
Okay.
Yes, because yeah, because once this person then served their time, I mean that's when there's this endless, I'm not, again, there's people who leave prison, and then obviously they can go and make a good life for themselves. But there are other people who may find it challenging, especially if they don't have a sister, they don't have family, and then if they went and served their time, and at the same time they come back, they're thinking, okay, I want to just be able to work, be able to rent an apartment, be able to just, I don't know, maybe going back to school, and not even be able to vote. So yeah. So it's not all states; it's just a few states.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
No. It's a lot of states.
It's a lot of states, and so in addition to you serving your time, all these liberties are taken from you. And so I would love to know your thoughts about that, because to me it's still punishment. It's been an awesome conversation, y'all. And so this is the last comment. Timothy said, listen, when you commit a crime, you lost all your positioning and leverage. Okay, all your positioning and leverage, but what about for you as citizen? So basically, which means that when someone commit a crime and the US and we should just lock them away and forever lock them away. Because if we lose when you being an individual, which that's a human being, when I will translate you to a human being, not an immigrant, not a US citizen, a human being. When someone commits a crime, you lost all your positioning and leverage. Does that include US citizen? Should we forget about anybody who commit a crime? Because technically they call the prison what do they call them? Attorney Daphnée Camilien?
The prison?
Yeah. No, not prison. I mean, like, they have this fancy what's like they're supposed to be able to restore you back to society.
Oh, rehabilitate you?
Yeah, rehabilitate you. Okay. So if the main purpose of prison is to rehabilitate you, and therefore why should we just forget about anyone? And then again, you said so you being a human being. Okay, so why should we forget about anyone who commit a crime and say, that's it, you're done, you are not part of this society, you are not part of this country? That's a conversation for next week.
It is a very good conversation.
Yeah.
And I've worked with prisoners.
Crime doesn't pay. Yeah, crime does not pay. I am not by any means advocating crime. I'm not advocating crime, but at the same time, I do believe that there should be a standard when it comes to how we punish people. He says, if I was born in the country and commit a crime, I don't get kicked out because as a citizen, I have a right to be here. Okay. I can see that. Okay, he said, yeah, he said, I meant if you are not a citizen, you lose your position leverage. Okay, he clarified. Okay, gotcha. All right, now, Timothy, I see you. Okay, so come back next week. Next week, Wednesday, I would love to. This hair is like, anyway, I would love this hair. This hair had me out of control. I would love to have to hear your thoughts about incarceration. Obviously, we're talking about U.S. citizen now, and how the system make it so difficult for them to get back to society and get back to the life. So with that being said, this show was brought to you by AJP Unlimited. Go check us out at AJP Unlimited on Facebook. We have amazing shoes, purses, jewelry for Valentine's Days, or any authentic stuff. And then so check us out at AJP Unlimited. I'm gonna put the page here. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Our feature product for today is this lovely crossbody bag, as well as it's like a 2-in-1. It's a backpack and a crossbody. So if you want one, reach out to me. Very inexpensive. So that being said, Attorney Daphnée Camilien is here to serve us, to answer your questions. Come back Wednesday at 8 p.m. I am a life insurance agent, helping my clients to protect, save, and grow their money. If you need assistance with life insurance, or you are interested in pursuing this career, reach out to me at 312-912-1845. It's been a pleasure. Attorney Daphnée Camilien, any last word?
Nope. I'll see you guys next week.
I'll see you guys next week. Thanks again for joining us. René Antoine and Daphnée Camilien signing out. Bye-bye.